My garbage person of the week is gonna have to be the entire DHS, or at least whoever at the DHS was responsible for this, where they have been communicating to police that some of the most common and innocuous protest activities are now to be considered violent tactics, which obviously would allow them to then respond with whatever you respond to violence with, even if no violence is actually present on the side of the protesters. And so what kind of activities are they talking about? We're gonna get into that. But just bear in mind, this seems to be based on an understanding that more violence and confrontation is coming. And we need to frame things in a way that the DHS is not gonna be responsible for literally any of this. So they put out a number of different threat bulletins. This was back during last month's No Kings protest, saying there's a high likeliness of more Americans turning against DHS. And it is, I think, wise of them to understand that, yeah, based on the things you guys are doing, I think a lot of Americans are probably gonna turn against you. So let's turn now to the stuff that you might want to avoid doing at protests, lest you be bashed over the head. So their guidance provided to police urges officers to consider a range of nonviolent behavior and common protest gear like masks, flashlights, and cameras as potential precursors to violence, telling officers to prepare, quote, from the point of view of an adversary, which just is not a good starting off point regardless. But to think that masks, flashlights, and cameras are violent or precursors to violence is just an awesome thing to say as you are fighting for ICE agents to go about their jobs masked at all times. Evidently, when they do that, it's a precursor to violence. And that is actually true in this case. But it doesn't just stop with the equipment. Protesters on bicycles, skateboards, and even on foot, so basically anyone, are framed as potential scouts conducting reconnaissance or searching for, quote, items to be used as weapons. So if you are on a vehicle or on foot, we should assume that you're looking for a weapon, even if you don't have one. Live streaming is listed alongside doxing as a tactic for threatening police. So people being able to see what cops are doing is inherently threatening to police. Online posters are cast as ideological recruiters or as participants in, quote, surveillance sharing. So if you're at a protest and you post a tweet or a photo of it, you are surveillance sharing, and all of this is radical and a precursor to violence. But here is maybe, I guess, the most ironic part of all this. One list of violent tactics shared by the LA-based Joint Regional Intelligence Center, this is part of a post 9/11 fusion network, included both protesters' attempts to avoid identification and efforts to identify police. So if you hide your identity, that is a warning sign. Again, not if ICE does it, but if you do it, it's a warning sign. Also, if you try to identify police, that's a warning sign. So you hiding your identity or them being forced to show their identity are equally threatening behaviors. And so basically, I don't know what's left. You being there on foot means you're looking for a weapon. If you post a photo, you are to be considered potentially violent. There's basically nothing left after this, Brett, and that's why I'm labeling them garbage. But what do you think?
I love that this Trump administration has access to, by their own account, thousands and thousands of hours of Epstein footage, and they're not going to go after the people whose faces apparently are on camera and whose voices are on camera without masks. They're not gonna prosecute those people, okay? But they are gonna prosecute you if you just happen to be skateboarding past a No Kings protest, or if you body cam the people with body cams. This is so tenuously related to reality. They're saying that if you record them doing anything, it's not so that you could potentially catch their bad behavior, which they really, really want to do. That's not why. And then potentially hold them accountable. No. You're filming them because you've got video bullets. Oh, video. These are the same people like video games are going to cause you to do violence. Now it's just video will cause you to do violence.
Yeah.
That's insanity. And this should scare the ever-loving crap out of you. Because this is what happens when they're already confident they have enough power to get away with it.
Yeah.
This is how people talk the same way that they're like, listen, we just don't know. They campaign on Epstein stuff. They say they have the Epstein stuff, then they say, oh, there's no there there, even though everybody's seen the there there. They've told us about the there there. They've been president already. And now, oh no, this isn't the droid you're looking for. Come on, dude. Yeah, it's insulting. And it would be hilarious if it wasn't so horrible. This is the authoritarian stuff that we're talking about, and convince me otherwise. You can't.
Less Than Lucid says, ABP for one Bart Simpson, noted surveillance agent. No, this is a justification for brutality with no motivation whatsoever. They can do literally anything they want, and anything you do, no matter how innocuous, is a justification for whatever overreaction they want to do. Okay, well, those are our garbage people, but 65,000 of you voted for the community garbage person of the week, and 5% of you voted for Marjorie Greene for pushing her weather manipulation conspiracy. 6% of you voted for Randy Fine for calling Ilhan Omar a Muslim terrorist yet again. 12% for Ted Cruz for slowly returning from Greece as Texas flooded, but it's not even close. 77% for Trump for trying to blame Biden for the Texas flood, which he did and said he wasn't doing in basically the same breath, which was pathetic. But we also have a hero of the week, because not everyone in America is bad. Each week there are 4 good people. Okay, and here are those 4. 2% voted for Bad Bunny for his new song about Trump and immigration. 3% for James Gunn for clapping back at MAGA over rage of the new Superman movie. 20% for Texas citizens for helping to rescue flood victims. But one particular person helping out got 75%. That is the president of Mexico for sending help to Texas after the flood. And thank God, at least one country's top government was interested in doing something about that flooding. She really wasted an opportunity though. Could have done some cool cosplay. I'd like to see her on horseback. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.